Ahead on Q2, changes coming to the city.
But we'll see what happens, and I wish them the very best.
A shakeup in store for Billings leadership positions, and now the city administrator looking to move out. The MTN 430 News starts right now. Good evening. Thanks for joining us on this Tuesday. I'm Andrea Lutz. A shakeup could be coming to Billings city leadership sooner rather than later. 5 city council seats are on the ballot for next year's election, and Mayor Bill Cole's term is nearing an end. Now, City Administrator Chris Kukulski is interviewing for a new position in Michigan. Tonight, Charlie Kleps breaks down what all these changes could mean for the Magic City.
Out with the old.
The downside of that is you lose some collective memory.
And in with the new.
So you can get new people, new ideas, and fresh energies.
That could be the theme for the next few months at City Hall, with leadership changes on the way.
We'll see what happens with this.
Those changes will take effect at this building in just a couple of months, as Mayor Bill Cole will be reaching his term limits and will be finished in just over 2 months. And 5 of the 10 city council seats will also be on the ballot in November.
Yeah, there's no doubt that there's going to be some different people in the seats.
Shifts in leadership with another potentially on the way as well.
I'm interested in being a part of that success.
That's current Billings City Administrator Chris Kukulski interviewing for a county administrative position in Ottawa County, Michigan.
I'm a firm believer that we're in control of our own destiny.
That interview took place Monday, as Kukulski, who grew up in Michigan, was one of 5 finalists for the job.
Chris had contacted all the city council members last week to give them a heads up.
Mayor Cole says he wasn't surprised by the interview due to Kukulski's ties to Michigan and the challenges that come with a city administrator position.
This is a hard job, and every time his salary comes up, there's been debates about whether he should even get paid whatever increase is going to our other city employees. So that probably gets a little bit old.
Last year, salary discussions for Kukulski were postponed until this year while the city waited for results from the water bill audit. Cole knows that if he gets the job in Michigan, salary for that position will be an important conversation. Currently, Kukulski makes about $218,000, which is $80,000 less than the city administrator in Bozeman.
It's very important that we be able to offer market compensation.
On top of that, Cole says it comes at a fluid time when many new faces could be in charge by the time a new city administrator steps into the role.
One question is, who should even make this decision? Should it be the old council, which will include people like me who will not be around in the future, or should it only be the people who will need to work with the city administrator in the future?
All questions hindering on Kukulski getting the new job. Cole says if he doesn't, they'll welcome him back with open arms.
Anybody who works for the city know that they're not in prison. We want people who have other options, that are willing to explore those other options.
In Billings, Charlie Kleps, MTN News.
A Billings teen who admitted to stabbing another teenager to death will spend the next 60 years in prison. 18-year-old Chiron Wolfbach was sentenced for deliberate homicide of 17-year-old Brighton Olson, a student at West High. Prosecutors say Wolfbach attacked Olson during a confrontation last April after first going after another teen tied to a dispute. He was arrested later that day at a home on North 22nd Street. A man charged with felony endangerment connected to 2 women who were with Sarah Stops in Pretty Places the night she vanished is sentenced to 3 years probation. Details remain limited, but Natosi Summers allegedly tried to attack the 2 women shortly before Sarah disappeared on August 24th, 2019. Her body was found 5 days later in a hardened backyard. No one has been charged in her death, and friends and family continue to demand justice from Bighorn County prosecutors. Wyoming's governor is calling in the National Guard, this time to help with immigration enforcement. Governor Mark Gordon has approved activating up to 15 guardsmen to support ICE in the coming months, handling administrative, logistics, and transportation duties. The mission is expected to begin before September 13th, but Guard officials say they haven't received orders yet, so it's still unclear where they'll be sent. The Department of Homeland Security is surging immigration enforcement in Chicago with what's being called Operation Midway Blitz. The ICE operation will target criminal illegal aliens in Chicago and Illinois. Stephanie Liebergen discusses the new ICE operation and how lawmakers are responding.
It's not the National Guard, but the Trump administration is sending more manpower to Chicago in the form of an immigration enforcement surge. The Department of Homeland Security announced Operation Midway Blitz on Monday, saying they're going to target the criminal illegal aliens in Chicago and Illinois. The announcement blamed sanctuary policies for releasing dangerous people back into the community. Now, the announcement did not include any specifics on exactly when this operation will start or end. When asked at the White House on Monday, Border Czar Tom Homan said that the administration has been in Chicago since day one, so it's a bit unclear exactly what this new surge will look like. What is clear is that Illinois' 2 Democratic senators are opposed. Senator Dick Durbin said the White House is just ramping up its campaign to arrest hardworking immigrants with no criminal convictions. Senator Tammy Duckworth called it wasteful, ineffective, and inhumane. Her statement said, quote, "If Trump truly cared about law and order, his administration would provide the Chicago Police Department and community partners with resources to expand promising violence intervention strategies and, most importantly, support initiatives that build trust between local law enforcement and Chicagoans." That sentiment was echoed in an op-ed from the Chicago mayor in the New York Times. His op-ed acknowledges that gun violence and crime in Chicago is often a punchline, but he notes that homicides this summer were at the lowest level since the 1960s, while at the same time acknowledging that any gun violence means there is still work to do. He says reducing crime isn't about surging law enforcement or tough-on-crime efforts, but that time is better served addressing the root causes of crime, developing effective policing strategies, and working on violence prevention. There were a handful of immigration arrests in Chicago over the weekend, and residents and officials are bracing for that number to go up a lot as a surge of immigration agents arrive in the city. Stephanie Liebergen, Scripps News Group, Washington.
Israel launched a strike on a key Hamas leader in Qatar. The attack comes hours after the Israeli prime minister issued an urgent warning for Palestinians to evacuate all of Gaza City ahead of a new military push. Jared Hill has the latest tonight.
Israel says it carried out airstrikes against Hamas's leadership in Qatar's capital, Doha, on Tuesday. Qatar has served as a key negotiator in efforts to end the war in Gaza, which began after Hamas led the October 7th terror attack on southern Israel in 2023.
I promised that Israel would reach those who perpetrated this horror. And today, Israel and I have kept that promise.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu explained why he ordered the attack during a speech at the U.S. Embassy in Jerusalem.
There was a time when Jews could be murdered with impunity, but since the founding of the State of Israel, those days are over.
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said the U.S. military notified the administration about the strike just before the attack, and that the president feels badly about the location.
Unilaterally bombing inside Qatar, a sovereign nation and close ally of the United States that is working very hard and bravely taking risks with us to broker peace, does not advance Israel or America's goals. However, eliminating Hamas, who have profited off the misery of those living in Gaza, is a worthy goal.
Leavitt says President Trump directed Special Envoy Steve Witkoff to inform the Qataris of the attack before it happened. The UN Secretary General condemned the airstrikes, saying, quote, "All parties must work toward achieving a permanent ceasefire, not destroying it." In Gaza City, the Israel Defense Forces dropped leaflets ordering a full evacuation. In recent days, the IDF has destroyed several high-rise buildings in Gaza City, where it says Hamas has installed surveillance infrastructure. Jared Hill, CBS News.
We're going to see some changes in the weather. The red shaded regions across eastern Montana show above average temperatures on the scale as we get into tomorrow. Even Thursday, Friday, Saturday, suddenly we see a cool down in the blue shaded regions, and it's going to be below average temperatures with an increasing chance of moisture. In fact, as I take the clock out to Saturday, you can see about a 50, 60, 70 to 80% chance of rain showers across the eastern plains, and that could include some areas where we see a little bit heavier rain along with it as well. In the short term, we've got a few showers, thunderstorms starting to pop up again. Most of the action here through Yellowstone National Park, central and western Montana. But if we zoom down a little bit, we're seeing a little more activity starting to move off the mountains, and a few areas through northern Wyoming also seeing some thunder and lightning and little pockets of a little heavier rain. We're going to break down the forecast details for you in just a few minutes from now.
A A first-of-its-kind biomass project in Bighorn County is now complete. This is a story we first brought you here on Q2. In June, mass reforestation began burying millions of pounds of burned trees from the Poverty Flats fire. The group says more than 10 million pounds are now underground, with burial sites being monitored to ensure no carbon is released. That clears the way for reforestation to begin, an innovative climate solution and the first of its kind in Montana. It was a lucky break for a Billings veteran and his family. Their roof was falling apart. Repairs seemed out of reach until a local company showed up with an unexpected, life-changing surprise. Hannah Pettiferi has the story.
It was an afternoon full of surprise for Cheryl and Marty Ash.
Amazement. Just couldn't believe it.
They thought they won a free roof inspection.
Came to the door and thought we were in the running for a roof for a vet.
But they really won a free roof from Yellow Ball, a roofing and solar company.
You guys were selected, so you're getting a free roof.
Thank you very much.
The company ran a contest to give a free roof to a vet in need.
It was just like, we knew we were in the running, but we had no idea. So it was a total surprise, especially seeing all the people.
The nomination came at a lucky time. Cheryl and Marty have insurance, but it wasn't going to be enough.
We had just got it inspected, but found out that the insurance was going to be way out of pocket for us. I was at work and heard it on the radio and told Cheryl about it, and she put me in, and here we are, the winners.
Justice Graham, owner of Yellow Ball, knew he wanted to help the community.
We just felt that it's important to give back to the community, and what better way than to give back to a veteran?
And Justice knows just how much a roof can cost.
It's a significant cost for a family.
On average, a roof can cost between $15,000 to $18,000.
Getting this is going to alleviate a lot of stress from both of our lives.
Justice says they plan to get it done as soon as possible. And the shock still hitting the ashes.
Everybody standing in the yard there and, all of them congratulating us and saying thank you for your service. So that means a lot, especially to a vet. I just want to thank Yellow Ball and everybody that came here and supported us, with a surprise.
In Billings, Hannah Pettiferi, MTN News.